My name is Dr. Peter Nelson, and by training, I was first a neuroscientist, and then I became a social scientist. I'm also a psychometrist. As a psychometrist, I gain access to how people experience the world through the objects that they once have owned and handled. For instance, people who have lived in a house will leave a kind of after image of themselves in the house. Or an object that was owned by someone has the essence of that person available to me as a psychometrist when I pick up the object. It's not so much that I have to hold it. Holding it is really not important. I have to just be next to it. Now, what do I receive? What I receive are a series of images, a series of verbal statements that go off, and a series of feelings. And from that, I see a picture. Sometimes it's a very, very clear, just a picture. Some people just want to know about an object. They want to know what was connected to it. If I get any kinds of images and thoughts or feelings about what the object was connected to. Or sometimes they want to solve a personal problem. Is this person, going to be right for me? Or is there, what's going to be the problems? Or sometimes they want to know if someone's still alive or dead. When someone's in an object, it's very alive in a way. But sometimes you can see that, there's an end point to their life. I can't tell you how I see that, you just know it. Well, as I held this object, the first thing that I got is I could see a scene. I always see it as if I'm there in the position as the person, but I'm also aware of the person. And what I'm seeing, I'm aware of me is there's a desk behind me. I'm looking out of a window, and I'm looking out this window, and he's actually, this person is quite depressed. But he's a very stoic kind of character where he has this very sinewy quality where, he will not actually give in, although in some ways he's very close to suicide at the time that I'm getting this.
This year, a friend of ours died in an accident, a single car accident. And it turns out that we were the last people of his friends to see him. I had just celebrated a birthday, and he, out of the blue, really, it was unexpected, he gave me this little dog as a gift.
And he's looking out this window, and he's kind of going over the past a lot. This scene is very vivid, and he's very intensely debating, what he should do. And it's not so much, it's partly about living and dying, but it's also partly about just, how to go on is the issue, and just how to go on. And there are just some things that happened that, he can't change or correct, but he feels stuck with, and it's a sense of being stuck with this issue that he can no longer sort of resolve, but at the same time he's very intensely still focused on it. Now, this person really keeps this kind of stuff to himself.
Peter really had this reading down. My reaction was very teary because, in fact, this person had spent the day worrying over his relationship with his girlfriend, who had moved away 3 months prior and was back east, and wasn't clear with him whether she was going to come back or not. Peter was absolutely dead on when he said that this person was very closed and that it was very difficult to tell how this person was really feeling.
I did a lot of reality testing. In other words, I'd get my perceptions, and then I'd try to pin down the information to make sure what I was perceiving was actually true in relation to the object. And an example would be, I was in an airport waiting for someone. There was a man sitting next to me. I looked down at his shoes. I psychometrized his shoes and got a series of pieces of information about him. And then I just turned to him and said, would you mind if I actually checked out some information with you? I just was wondering if you would mind. And he said no, and I said, are you an anthropologist? Is your favorite piece of music the Bach Brandenburg Concerto number 5? And I went on and on this way. And he said yes, 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 and he said, well, how'd you know that? I said, I was looking at your shoes. And that's all I ever told him. And then the plane arrived and I left.